My name is Alicia, and in this week's live lesson, we're going to talk about AI words you hear every day. AI is a very big topic, and people have so many opinions. There's news about it every day. There's new vocabulary coming out about it every day. So today, I'm going to talk about some of the words that you hear a lot, especially some of the new words. And I hope that you can send some other examples in the chat that we can talk about live so that everyone watching gets a lot of new and really up-to-date information about these keywords, because I know lots of people have to use AI at their jobs or they want to talk about AI. So I hope that from today's information, you are able to understand it a little bit more in English. We have a lot to cover. I've prepared a lot of words, and there's a lot of other words I would love to talk about if we have time. So let's get into it quickly. If you're joining live in the chat, please send a message so I can say hello to you. And of course, please make sure to hit the like and share button so that other people can find today's lesson. That would be super, super cool. While we wait for people to join us live, really quickly, I want to note this banner at the bottom of the screen, which says, download your free 2,000 words ebook. The team has created a free PDF ebook, this thing right here, this thing. These are the 2,000 core words of English. The core words in any language are the most essential or the most commonly used words for everyday communication. So if you want to make sure you study the most important words first, you can download this free PDF ebook at EnglishClass101.com and study the core words. Make sure you understand those. Make sure you get the most important words in your head first. Also, at EnglishClass101.com, you can find some flashcards. There are flashcard decks that feature the 2,000 core words of English. So you can use this PDF and you can use the flashcards to study those. Isn't that amazing? Check it out, okay? You can find this, just click the link below the video, YouTube, or above the video, Facebook, to find those things, okay? All right, let's get going. Hello, everyone who's joining on YouTube. Hello, Walter, Natalie, Ali, Rocky, what's up, everybody? Patrick, hey, Patrick, what's up? And Facebook, I don't see Facebook messages just yet, but let's begin because I have a lot to cover. Are you ready? I hope you are. Okay, let's begin with our AI words you need to know, and if you haven't, please make sure to hit the like button. Okay. First, let's begin with prompt. Prompt. I included this in, I think, last year's AI video, but let's refresh here. A prompt, we can use this as a noun and as a verb, okay? So I'm going to cover example sentences today. Primarily, you can send examples in the chat, all right? So a prompt, we can use it to mean the thing we write into the AI tool. Like when we type something to ChatGPT or to Claude or to Gemini, we write a prompt. That text block is called a prompt. That's the noun version, okay? The verb version means to type something to an AI tool, okay? So this block of text, the few lines of text or the long piece of information you give to an AI tool, that is called your prompt. So let's look at two example sentences. First, a good prompt is important. A good prompt is important. A good text or image information or reference is important. Okay? This is as a noun. I'll put this N here. Okay? As a verb, you have to prompt with guidelines. You have to prompt with guidelines. So that means you have to give the tool information about what you want, okay? So prompt is kind of one of the most basic AI tools, yeah? So let's continue to the next two here, which are very closely related, all right? So output is the next one, output. So output means the result, okay? The result. After you prompt an AI tool, the result. After you prompt an AI tool, you receive an output, okay? The output means the thing that the tool puts out, right? If that's helpful, you can swap out and put. So it's the thing the tool puts out, the result. So let's look at this. This is a noun. I'll include this here, N for noun. So, for example, we could say this output is full of errors. This output is full of errors. Errors means there's mistakes in them, okay? We're going to talk about a specific word for AI errors later, okay? So Please stay until that. Another one, it outputs a lot of info quickly. It outputs a lot of info quickly. This uses output as a verb, okay? So here we have noun. This output is full of errors, and as a verb, it outputs a lot of info quickly, where this, it, is the tool, right? ChatGPT outputs a lot of info quickly, or Claude outputs a lot of info quickly, okay? So that means that the tool results or creates lots of results quickly, puts them out, okay? All right, let's continue then to generate. Generate is very closely connected to output, okay? So generate means to create something, okay? But specifically with an A, like for today, to create something with AI, okay? For example, a picture or a video, right? To create something with AI. So you can see in the news a lot these days, AI-generated art or AI-generated videos, right? When we say generate, that means created. But I think it's important to use this word generate when we talk about AI tools because it's different, right? When a human makes something, we use the word create, right? This human created this painting, right? I created this photo, or I created this artwork. When we use generated, we show it's an AI creation. So it's something that was made through the computer's tools, right? So this is a very important way that we show a difference between AI things and human things, okay? All right, so let me check the chat quickly. Hello, everyone who's joining. Hello, Erickson and Victor. What's up? Nathan, Isabel, Mino, I prefer your handwriting. Yeah, we're back to my handwritten lessons today. I'm very excited. I'm very happy to come back to handwriting lessons today. So I hope that you all enjoy this. I really like doing it this style. Patrick asked, is generate similar to generation? Yes, so to generate, sorry, this is a verb, right? To generate means to create. This is a verb. Generation, it depends on the context. There are a couple different ways to use the word generation, but generation is the noun form. Yes, thanks, Patrick. Alina, what's up? Hello. And on Facebook, hello, Zhao, welcome. Interesting. Okay, good. Let's go to my example. It's a bit long, so I included just one here. So the images and videos generated with AI tools are often very clearly not real, okay? So the images and videos generated, this means generated, created, but specifically created with AI tools, are often very clearly not real, okay? I'm sure you have seen some AI videos by this point in time. ChatGPT has been out since 2022, so you've probably seen some. Maybe you didn't realize that you saw some. Okay, so let's continue to the next one. AI agent. AI agent. This is a noun phrase, okay? So we've talked so far about AI tools, right? Like Claude and ChatGPT, Gemini. So an AI agent is an AI tool, but it can act independently, right? Like you can give it a task, right? You can ask it to do something on your computer, and it will do that, hopefully. It will do that thing if you set it up right. Maybe you've tried to create like an OpenClaw agent, and it took over your computer. I've seen some examples of that. So it's important to know what you're doing when you set up these AI agents. But an AI agent, some people think of an AI agent like a teammate, right? Or you give it small tasks to do. So an AI agent can be helpful, but it can also be a very big problem if you don't set it up correctly. Yeah? So let's look at an AI agent example. I created an AI agent that reads my email and organizes a to-do list for me every day. That's not true, but I created an AI agent that reads my email and organizes a to-do list for me every day. So this means my AI tool can do these things automatically. That's what AI agent here means. Okay, so sometimes they can be helpful, but sometimes they can be harmful. Okay, all right. Yes, okay. As Control Desk also notes, this is very much about context. The context is very important here with AI agents. Okay, I don't see any questions, so I'm going to continue because we're going to get into the bigger topics from the second and the third column here, okay? The next one, you have probably seen this word a lot in the last couple of years. The word is slop, S-L-O-P, okay? So this is usually used as a noun. Slop, this means low quality output, okay? Low quality output from an AI tool. Remember how we, output. Remember how we talked about output here? Output means the result. So slop, or often called AI slop, means low quality outputs. So AI slop can be a picture, or rather an image. AI slop can be a video. AI slop can be writing, an article. We can see AI slop in Instagram captions. We see AI slop in news articles. You can maybe you can see in your language too, there are some signs of AI slop writing too. So something that is slop is something that is low quality. It just looks the same as everything else. It doesn't have something that makes it feel real, that makes it feel like it's made by a human, right? So slop is a very negative thing to call something, okay? This comes from the word sloppy. Maybe you know that adjective. Sloppy, the adjective, means something that is done poorly, something that is done without care for how it looks, something that is not of good quality, okay? So slop comes from this word. Okay, so let's look at our examples. I can't stand reading AI slop. I can't stand reading AI slop. This is true for me. I can't stand reading AI slop. When I'm reading something online and I notice the signs that it's written by AI, I stop reading right away and I go somewhere else for my information because I don't trust that information anymore. And this is a very common experience these days online. AI slop leads to distrust, okay? So let's continue to the next one. A business in town started posting slop images every day. Here it is, slop, right? So sometimes we use AI in front of slop, sometimes just the word slop. Yeah? So a business in town started posting slop images every day. This means the images are low quality and we can tell, we can see that's an AI generated image. Yeah? Again, AI generated, meaning it was created with an AI tool. Yeah? So our business in town started posting slop images every day. Maybe you've seen online a few examples of businesses that started using lots of AI and people reacting very negatively to that. People use these slop images as an indicator of cheapness or budget or aesthetic taste, right? So people are making judgments about these businesses based on their use of AI in their outputs. It's very interesting, isn't it? All right, let's continue to the next one. Token. Token. This is a very hot word for 2026 especially. Oh, let's break this one down. Let's spend some time with token. First, token is a noun, okay? Token is, we can think of token as like the currency, okay? A kind of currency. If you don't know the word currency, currency is money, right? So for example, the currency of the USA is the US dollar, right? Or the euro is a currency, or Japanese yen is a currency, right? The type of money that you use somewhere, right? A token is like currency for AI tools, right? So we have to spend tokens in order to use a tool. Okay, if you have only used like the free plan of ChatGPT or Gemini or something, you probably, I don't know, maybe, you probably have not had to worry about tokens. But big companies who use lots and lots of AI tools and use lots of these things in their workflows every day have to think about what's called token plans or token-based usage. Okay, so a token is like how much it costs or the cost of doing something. For example, to generate an image, it costs tokens, right? So for example, this is not true, but let's say it costs 10 tokens to generate an image, right? So if we have to use 10 tokens for every image we make and we need to make 1 million images every month, that can become very expensive really quickly, right? So tokens are becoming very, very important in the news because many plans, like on the paid plans, now require that users pay a certain amount to receive some tokens every month, and those costs are increasing very quickly. It's a very interesting point in time, okay? All right. Control Desk also wants to point out, yes, tokens are coincidentally used in things like arcade games and in gambling situations too. We use tokens as a way to kind of separate ourselves from the money, I think, you know? So interesting little insights in this word choice by these companies. Anyway, lately, here's an example sentence. Maybe you've seen this in the news. This one is something we are seeing in a lot of news articles these days. Lately, our company's token costs have been increasing like crazy. Maybe you've seen examples of this. I think I saw examples from like Disney and Microsoft. I think Uber as well. I think the story about Uber was that they'd burned through like the whole year's token costs in like 3 months in the first quarter. Whoa, that's very expensive, right? Going crazy, some of these places. So lately, our company's token cost, that means the cost of generating something, the cost of using these tools for these companies. That can include AI agents as well, okay? All right, I don't see any questions yet. Where did Facebook go? I lost Facebook. But I think it's probably okay. All right, let's go to the next one, which is very closely related to token. Okay, so compute. Compute, maybe you're like, is that the same as computer? Closely related, yes, closely related. Compute means the power, okay? So the power, very simply, it means the power that we need in order to use these AI tools, okay? So compute, let's look at the example sentence first, okay? There's so much demand for AI now that tech companies have to increase compute power. So I included compute power here. So compute is the power specifically for getting energy to use these AI tools, okay? So the compute, you will see in the news, compute costs are going up, right? So that means these tech companies have to create enough power so that all these customers can use the AI tools, okay? So compute, and especially compute costs, you will see this in the news. This just refers to the power that is needed, okay? So compute. It does come from computer, meaning the power required to use the computer's tools. Okay, let's continue to the next one, which is data center. Data center. This one has been coming up in the news a lot lately because of big criticisms of tech companies, okay? Let's look at the example sentence first, and then let's break it down. So many people are very upset about data centers being built in their towns. Many people are very upset about data centers being built in their towns. So a data center, this sounds very simple and harmless, right? It's a center for data. That's great. So a data center is like a power facility for compute, okay? So it's a very large facility. So facility means like a big building with lots of industrial, or how can I say it? It's a very big building that is used to create power, or a big building used to generate compute, to get compute power so people can use these tools, right? So a data center is very, 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 very big. If you look for a news story about this, you can probably find some pictures, some examples, yeah? So many people are very upset about data centers being built in their towns because they're very, very noisy and they use lots and lots of resources. And in some cases, there's like power lines being built into people's properties that decreases people's property value over time. There are a lot of really, really strong criticisms that are very fair, I think, about how data centers are negatively impacting people's lives. Yeah? So data center, this is a very big topic in the news these days. All right. Okay, let's continue. I don't see any questions. Are you all there? Where are you this week? Send me your example sentences with AI. I miss you. All your comments, where are they? Okay, let's go then to a quick break, because I haven't taken a break. You can send me a comment in the break. So if you missed it earlier, the team has a free PDF ebook here. These are the 2,000 core words of English. Yay! These are the most commonly used words in everyday English communication. So if you want to get this for free, you can find it at EnglishClass101.com. You can find the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, above the video if you're watching on Facebook. Check it out. You just need your name and an email address, and then you can download this for free. Woohoo! So go crazy, and I hope that it is helpful for your vocabulary studies. All right. Continuing, if you have not, please, please, please make sure to hit the like button and share this video so other people can find today's lesson. Let's go to our last column today. I only have a few minutes left. We'll see how much I can get through. So the next word is layoff. Layoff. Maybe you have seen this relating to AI a lot in the news this year. We have seen many layoffs in the tech world. So layoff is a noun. We can also use it as a verb, to lay off, but there's a separation here with the verb. That's very confusing, I know. Sorry, it's a quirk of English. Okay. Patrick has a question. Patrick asked, compute power is for a few or only computer, and data center are for a lot of computers. There are different between them. Yes. Going back here to compute and data center really quickly. So compute, we usually, for this lesson, for AI and these big tech company related news, we use compute usually in this story to talk about big scale power. Yeah, we use it to talk about powering lots and lots of computers, lots and lots of tools. So it can be used for smaller ones, like my computer. If you want to talk about your own computer, I would say everyday people like me. I'm not really like a big computer super geek. I know a bit, but you know, not a super geek. But I would just say in my case, my computer doesn't have enough power to run this, right? Compute sounds like bigger scale, yeah? So the company needs more like computing power. You might hear something like in between, like I just said, computing power. These days, compute is usually used in large-scale discussions of these data centers. Okay. All right, let's continue then to layoff. So layoff as a noun, no space here. Lay off is a verb, but we have a space, to lay off workers. Okay, layoff is in the news these days because what is a layoff? A layoff means to lose your job, okay? To lose your job, but not because of your performance. It's not a performance problem. It's a problem in the company's budget, or because the company decides to change the structure, right? So some teams go into one, teams integrate, or the structure of the company changes somehow, or maybe two companies merge, they come together, right? So a layoff means losing your job. And in the news, we have seen this year many tech companies do very big layoffs, right? Many thousands of people have been laid off this year. Maybe you're one of them, or you know somebody who has been laid off, right? So one of the reasons they say is, oh, AI, people are being laid off because of AI. AI is so efficient, AI is so efficient. But there's lots of questions about that. There's a lot of questions about whether people are being laid off because of AI, or because many people were hired during COVID. So there's lots and lots of discussion about the reason for this. So let's look at the example sentence here. These companies say they're laying people off because of AI. Okay, so notice we can split this one. Laying people off. I've got the ing form here because it's ongoing. Many companies say they're laying people off because of AI. So you can put a person, like they laid my teammate off, or they're laying the marketing team off, whatever. You can split lay and off. Again, this one is used as the verb form. And a layoff as a noun, we sometimes see this in the news as like, there were a lot of layoffs this quarter, for example. That means lots of people lost their job. Rommel, so it doesn't have any matter with the amount of instructions capable to run the CPU or its NPU. Are you talking about compute? This would be probably a question for somebody who builds computers. I would personally, as just an average computer user, or maybe slightly above average computer user, I just say computer power or processing power. You might hear different words depending on the person, Rommel. I hope that answers your question. On Facebook, I hope I said that right. Tokens are needed for premium plans of some apps or AI tools, right? Yes, you're correct. So tokens get used to access like the API, to do API calls, to use certain premium features depending on the plan you're using. So yes, tokens are necessary usually for plans that are not free AI plans. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is AI overview or AI summary. If you use Google, which I think most of you do, AI overview and AI summary is the thing that appears at the top of Google now, right? When you search for something like, I don't know, you look for a fact, like what is the capital of the USA, right? And it pops up. There's a little blue box that pops up that says AI overview. That is called an AI overview or an AI summary, like a summary of a PDF document, okay? So these are, they pull information from lots of different resources, okay? So here is our example. Google's AI summaries are often completely wrong. So please be careful, yeah? Google's AI summaries are often completely wrong. So a summary means like when you take all the information and make it short and easy to understand. That's a summary of something. But as I've been seeing online these days, how these summaries are created in Google is very questionable. It's very, very tricky, I think. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm late. Let's finish up with the last two, maybe three, because this one's a fun one to talk about. Let's talk about these as a pair. These are very important, and they relate to these errors that we're talking about. I mentioned we'd talk about the word for AI errors specifically. First, we have the verb hallucinate and the noun hallucination. Okay? So, to hallucinate means to imagine something. It is not real, okay? When we used hallucinate before AI tools, we used it for people, right? Someone, for example, who was maybe feeling very sick or who had a mental health issue, or just sometimes we imagine something or we hear something and we think it's real, but it's not. Okay, maybe this was used, I don't know, if someone was taking a drug of some kind too. They could imagine things that were not real, right? So to hallucinate means to imagine something, right? To imagine something, but it seems real. It seems very real, okay? This is key. Right? So we think, oh, there's someone in that room, or I think I can hear some music. We say, oh, no, you just hallucinated that. You imagined that. This verb is the verb we use to talk about errors made by AI tools, right? When you ask ChatGPT a question and it gives you some information and you read it and you go, okay, I know that's wrong. That's just not true. We can say that that tool hallucinated. Okay? It imagined something, but it's an AI tool, so it cannot imagine. It just gathered information and presented information incorrectly. Okay? So let's look at the example. AI tools are known to hallucinate a lot. AI tools are known to hallucinate a lot. There's a lot of just wrong information in these AI tools, so it's very important to be very careful with them. The noun form of this is hallucination. Hallucination. So the thing that you think you hear, or the thing that you think you see, the noun, that's hallucination. So let's look at how we use that in a sentence. This output is just one big hallucination. This output is just one big hallucination. Remember output from the beginning of the lesson? Output means the result from the AI tool. So if you say this output is one big hallucination, it's like, for example, an AI article. The AI generated this article, but everything is wrong. This is all wrong, we could say. This is just one big hallucination. It's like the AI imagined something. Okay, so we do not like hallucinations. Please be careful. There are a lot of them. Like every time you use them, watch out. So be careful. Humans can do this. So just make sure that you are always looking out for this. We have just a little bit of time left, so I'll cover this one because this has also been appearing in the news, and it's important to know about, I think. The term is AI psychosis, what they're calling it this. This is the name for it. I don't know that there's a special like clinical medical word. AI psychosis. This relates to a very unstable way of thinking about AI. Maybe you've seen some of these news articles in your home country where it's like somebody starts using an AI tool and they believe they have some kind of connection with it, or they believe that they need to, they believe they're like extra super special, they believe that they are super skilled, or they believe that, you know, something wild and imagine, like they can imagine things about themselves, and the AI makes them feel really great about it, right? So there are lots of default issues with many of these AI tools, one of which is what's called sycophantic behavior, which means that it's very flattering. It tells you, great idea, you're amazing, that's wonderful. And these kinds of sycophantic behaviors lead to, in some cases, AI psychosis, because people think, oh, I'm so smart, I'm so great, and then they get these really kind of crazy ideas. I saw one example of a man, just an average everyday man, who thought he'd invented like a new form of math because the AI tool told him so. So there are these kind of strange examples of this, but you might also know some people that are just so into AI. They think it's going to solve all the problems, and they think that it's just the way forward, and it's so amazing. It's gonna change all, you know, whatever. They have some kind of crazy idea about it. Those people, maybe they're not obviously crazy, but they might have a bit of AI psychosis. They don't have a good grounding in reality and how actual people are using these tools, because these are very interesting tools. I think that these are very, very interesting tools, but we have to be careful about how we use them, right? And we also have to think about how people receive them, right? When someone reads an AI slop article, or when somebody sees an AI slop image or a video that is AI, what does that say about you? What does it say about your business, right? So we have to think about how people understand these tools and how we can use them effectively and safely. So we don't want AI psychosis. We don't want that to happen, okay? All right, so let's finish up there. Rocky wrote, so does hallucination also mean, oh, this is so confusing? No, hallucination does not mean that something is confusing. Hallucination for this lesson means it is wrong. Not confusing, but it is wrong. Maybe the AI will output something that is very confusing, maybe because it's hallucinating. Maybe it tries to put all this stuff together and make an explanation, and it's very confusing. So that's maybe that's connected to a hallucination. But no, a hallucination for an AI tool means that it is just wrong. It's something that is wrong, okay? Okay, we'll finish there for today. Oh my gosh, so we got through all of it. Hooray! That was good. Okay, so these are just a few of the words. I chose just a few of these words to talk about because obviously AI is a very big topic these days, and we see news articles about it all the time. Every morning when I check the news, AI, AI, AI. So it's very important to know these new and very important vocabulary words too, so that you can use it. But we have to finish for this week. So I will say goodbye for now, but I'll be back next week, same time, same channel. I'll be back at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is New York City time. If you don't know your local time, please Google it, or just set a notification on Facebook or on YouTube, and you will get a pop-up when we start the live stream. I think next week's topic is about TV shows you can use to study English. Yeah, I think it's specifically for Netflix, but I might go a little bit beyond that. We'll see. So we're going to cover some media examples that might help you in your English studies. I believe that's next week's topic. I looked before the lesson. So please join me next week for more stuff. We're going to continue with this style, by the way. We're going to continue where I get to write the things like this. I'm very excited and happy about that. So please join me again next week. We'll talk about some fun media-related things. And if you have a recommendation for a TV show or like a YouTube channel you like, please bring it next week. That's your homework for next week. Okay? So let's have fun finding some good media sources. And I'll see you next time. All right? And don't forget to go and download your free PDF ebook, woohoo, from the link below the video. Find it at EnglishClass101.com. Link down here or up here. Check it out. All right, I'll say goodbye. Thanks everybody for liking and sharing the video and for sending your questions and comments in the chat. Have a great day, have a great week, have a great weekend, and I'll see you again